I don't think I was anywhere for more than 3 months. And I think that's even saying a lot. I can't even think of a place. Oh, no. Yeah. Okay. 3 months. I'd say 3 months was max for where I ever was at any point. But usually it was about 3 weeks. And then I'd be off to the next. So that really forces you to think compactly and in boxes. And I was living out of a car during that whole time. So it was really what fit in my car is what I had. And I got rather creative with easels and so forth and ways to hang art. Um, but so there was an immediacy of just really knowing my material and just being able to set up wherever I was. And during that time, I started painting a lot more on paper because it is so lightweight and takes up very little space. And I still very much work on paper, but I also work on aluminum, which is I think my main what I'm mostly known for. I've been doing it well, not the longest, but it's something I've investigated for over 20 years now, and canvas linen. But definitely started working a lot more with paper at that time. And because that all stemmed out of a personal upheaval, like my my I mean, my perceptions of the world changed, but also my mark making changed. Um, and in a good way, I'd say. My work became a bit more emotional, I'd say, a little bit more freed up. And also my thoughts around what I was making certainly changed. Because prior to that, when I was visiting places like Antarctica, Greenland, and the Maldives, like I'd mentioned, and others, um, I was thinking it more of like a documentarian way. So it really was like taking these photos on site and just, really, but then thinking of how to translate them in paint, but with being nomadic and having the luxury of really having this, um, you know, the gift of time, serious time in these spaces. Um, I, was able to really think about the immediacy of the mark and the moving landscape in front of me. I mean, I was always a plein air painter and traveling a lot with that, but just the fact that I was so mobile, I was really just reacting to the energy of the space rather than like the documentation of it. So I wasn't painting a literal space, but more the sensation of space, especially because what I would take from these places to bring into larger studio work when I had the opportunity to have a larger studio, which I don't always have, um, I would take those marks that I came up with in those places back to the studio. So eventually, like the photo was irrelevant that I was using to document the space, and it was just really about the perception of the stories, thinking about the stories, thinking about the mark, and so forth. When I brought it back to the studio.